Hello and welcome to the Assetto Corsa Competizione Sim Series 24 Hours of Spa Superpole for Server 1. I'm your host Gareth Prompter, and we are sitting in the server ready to go for this really rather huge event that we have running here as OBS remembers what ACC is and decides to pick up the game. Hello and welcome. I'm sure we'll have a lot of new people here who are not regulars with ACCSS. We've obviously moved to YouTube for this for a couple of reasons. The first of those reasons is that obviously we have a second server, and that second server is also being streamed on our YouTube by Roy Weller. So this is for server 1. If the drivers that you want to watch are in server 2, then head on either to the announcements in our Discord channel or to our YouTube channel and have a look-see where the other server stream is. So thank you all for joining us. We are at, obviously, the beautiful Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Everyone is running around for their quick little bit of practice. And as you will, I'm sure, be able to see, it's damp. It is damp, as I'm sure many of these guys will have had to practice for due to the 24-hour nature of this event. There's going to be a lot of mixed weather, hopefully. And we're going to see, actually, once again, a damp Superpole. This is only the second damp Superpole we've ever done. I don't know if the weather is the same in the other server, but the last, not the last endurance event did, the last ACC endurance event we did, ACCSS endurance event we did, was a wet Superpole. So we can have a look at our set of drivers. These are the teams we will have. And you can see there along the side the penalties that they have for what car they chose. We tried our best, everybody. We tried our best to make sure that we could get as representative a sample of cars as possible. And unfortunately, that means that we still have mostly Astons. And that's just the reality of racing ACC on Spa. They have the maximum ballast of 30 kilograms. And yet still we are seeing mostly Astons. But you can see from this list we have a decent variety. So, you know, I think it's done well. I think we've got a better variety than we would have had otherwise. Obviously, in this Superpole specifically, a BMW, a Porsche, 2 Mercedes, an Audi, which is going to be a nightmare around here as someone who drove that last season. In our IGT Championship, a Lexus, a couple of Bentleys, a McLaren, Ferraris. So we do have a decent mix, at least a better mix than if we had done nothing. Also, an interesting thing to note is that the number 3 car there, driven right now by Leon Hope, is the old Ferrari, the 2018 non-Evo Ferrari, which means that he doesn't actually have any bop, which is a nice sneaky ploy there made by those guys. And has given us a little extra sprinkling of variety. Unfortunately, no one else decided to do that. The old AMG also didn't have any bop, and some of the other old cars didn't have bop, but they also aren't quite as competitive as the old Ferrari, so it wouldn't have made quite as much sense. What is the other car? And the other car that doesn't have any is the Porsche, obviously, because the Porsche is a little bit weakened on the straight here anyway. So it is the end of this session. I'm checking the Discord, and it seems like the driver's briefing has ended, so everyone is hopping into their own little servers. I'm not sure. I assumed that the free practice would be on the same day as the qualifying. That would be a little bit confusing for our drivers if they haven't. But yeah, we'll see our drivers jumping back and getting ready. Unfortunately, we don't have any liveries, if there are liveries for some of these cars, because of the way ACC broadcasting works. Yes. So thank you everybody for coming and joining us for 24 Hours of Spa, the first endurance broadcast that we've done for a while, and we will be broadcasting for the whole of the 24 hours. So
Green light. Go, go, go.
be ready for that. We have the green light, but obviously no one quite moving yet. We need to wait. They will be... each server has a driver steward in there, and they will be instructed to go out in their order. First up here, Esbin Sharon. I hope Sharon is something like right. Apologies if I'm ruining your name. I obviously have had very little time to practice with some of these names, as they are not all ACCSS regulars. But here is Esbin driving for Cracked.Gamer, the 207 Bentley. Nice livery. Nice livery. I might not get a huge amount of time to judge everyone else's livery, as we won't be watching as many outlaps, hopefully, as if they're well timed enough. But nice. Matte black always looks good on a car. I think that's matte black. It looks a little bit glossy maybe, but that could just be the rain. A little bit of a slide through no name. So the format should be pretty obvious. The basic SUPERPOLE, but for those who don't know, because there are some subtle differences between how people do it. And so Esbin right here will finish his outlap, and then should be doing his hot lap. You can see there the 76 has been let out, so he will be doing his outlap while the 207 is going. They'll all be split up, so we can try and watch as much of as many of them as possible. Who is the 76? 76 over here is Leon Hope in that. I keep calling it the classic Ferrari, is a bit of a meme, but I doubt you can really call it classic. But the old 2018 Ferrari, at least. A decent livery. I don't love the sort of randomness of this custom, and the grey gives me some old McLaren vibes, which I'm not super happy about. But we'll see. So starting the lap, we will sit on board for a while with our first driver to go through, Esbin. Obviously, one of the most important corners on the circuit. First into La Source, braking at the 100-meter board and getting nice onto the apex, trying to get as much turn in as possible so you can start this long descent towards Eau Rouge, a corner which can be flat in many cars with a good setup in the dry. But in the wet, it's a little bit more scary, taking a lot of the curb there. Big lift to make sure he gets through it. Doesn't want to invalidate because he only gets one chance at this. We can see that he has not invalidated. He has the 299 come out just behind him, who's obviously going to be on his outlap. Getting down, huge braking into Lacombe. And then getting up on the apex through the second half of Lacombe down to Bruxelles. Big braking, and then you have to be off the throttle for a long time. Just coming around here into No Names, quick lift and throw yourself in. And then into Pouon, fantastic fast corner in the dry, but in the wet you're going to be slipping the whole time, struggling to make sure you're on a good line. Not going too far out, but keeping it close. Braking just under the bridge for Campos. And then again, a long time off of the accelerator before you get on. Lots of exit curb use. Nice work into Stavolo. You've got to go as fast through Stavolo as you can, because it's essentially the start of a straight. This corner, a little bit of a lift in the wet. And then you are down the back straight. While we were doing this, of course, the number 76, sorry, was out there. Leon Hope. He is coming through Lacombe. That's 207. Who's going to complete his lap. And as soon as he completes his lap, he should get out of the way for the 299 to come through next. So he sets the first time of a 2:31, and that is the time that everyone else is going to have to beat. Leon Hope, our next driver in that old Ferrari. It's hard to tell exactly how he's doing. We'll try and pick up a few points at some of the sector marks to work out exactly where we should be. Coming around here, 151 as he goes into the final sector. And here we go, towards the end of the lap. And 131, so a 10th up, which is good. Shows that should be pretty good with none of our drivers having any particularly bad times yet as the 464 starts his lap. Kieran Vidego in the SimSport Racing International B team is coming across. Through towards Blanchimont now. This corner can be scary enough in the dry. You've got to have some pretty big commitment in the wet to get as much speed out there as possible. But you're coming in at a hugely high speed and you're going to be moving to another one. There you go. Looking decent as he comes into the last corner. This, I think, will be a new pole time, and it is 2:30 there from Vidego. Next car coming around, Ben Walker, Distinct GG in the McLaren. First McLaren we are seeing out so far. And a Colquitt in the BMW is also starting his lap. We'll see how both of these two go. Coming up to the third sector for Walker. Van Colquitt has a very good first sector in the BMW. Walker is coming around to finish his lap. BMW very tricky in some of these slow speed corners. They've got a good amount of grunt. Only BMW driver we have in the top 20 running that number 1. And Walker is going to come through. Decent time so far, but not quite going pole. Only 3 temps down. So the first 2 times we had, not the greatest. They have been defeated by our next few drivers. Oh, that was the car who was stopping, so it's 1, 2, 3. James Perry in DPM GT Racing is just starting his lap. as Van der Kolk comes around. Hitting that 150 mark that a lot of our drivers have been through the first 2 sectors. For some reason, the sector timings for the second sector are not working. It's unfortunate, but we're seeing the end of our lap here as Perry comes through the first sector time. So it's very strong first sector there from, I believe, the first of our Aston Martins who have gone through is Van der Kolk coming across the board. It's looking decent, but not quite on for pole. Oh, it's a little bit slower than I thought, actually. He's down with Hope and Espen. And, you know, a little bit of frustration there maybe, but our drivers have been told to just leave the straight and go straight onto the off-track to make sure they get out of the way for drivers like Conor McLean for Optimum Motorsport, who's coming through next. Let's sit on board with our man. Taking the second Aston that we've seen today, running through Eau Rouge and Radian. Into Perry now, DPM GT Racing, coming up through Blanchemont. And you can see as I believe it is reverse order from who qualified. You can see the Astons going a bit later as they've qualified higher. And here we go. Very slight improvement there from Perry. Good job. McLean is the next one on a lap still for Optimum. OTL Racing's Kieran Sharp in the Audi. Been an Audi driver recently myself, so big bias here towards this little orange beast. We'll see how he goes. We'll stay watching this guy for longer, not just because I am biased towards the Audis, but also because I am biased against the Astons for there just being too damn many of them. Clambering over Radian. Down the Camel. How will he be doing at the end? K Sharp. Out of 43 by the looks of it there. I think it's the timing is a little bit off on here because nobody's been going that fast. But we'll now see McLean coming over the end. McClellan. It's very clearly McClellan. Apologies. I'm sure I've been getting your name wrong this whole time. And he goes into 4th so far. Luke Whitehead from PPR Esports is next up in the Lexus. Fortunately, has picked the less interesting of the 2 Lexus skins that we are allowed to use. Thank you, Toyota. While he's going through the end, we have K Sharp here. OTR Racing Audi. Taking a nice amount of the curb. Let's see how he comes across the line now. Looking reasonable, yeah, he's up in 4th, so he's in with that sort of middle pairing of times. Nothing to be scoffed at there. And while the 111 is going, we have the lovely Iron Dames livery, driven by Vulcan Bakirden. Sad that they can't show their name off, the name of whatever team they are actually driving for, but you do get these fantastic liveries with some of the in-game liveries. We are back. Sorry about that slight disturbance. The 528 on his lap time now. The Audi UK Sharp up into 5th position. The Lexus of Whitehead took 3rd. That's a very good position. It looked incredibly close to the top time as well. Shout outs to him, and we can see now Daniel Brunschitz, JL Motorsport at the end of Sector 1. Trying to find the name of that Iron Danes team as well at one point, but unfortunately SGP is not showing me the server one there. Yeah, no one has invalidated yet, Singular Fish. I'm sort of surprised, but also they all know, you can lose a lot of places from invalidating, so they want to be careful. But here the Iron Dames car coming around the lap time. Doesn't look like a great lap from what I can see, and yeah, that's a little bit slow there, unfortunately, for that car. Starting his lap will be Regan Mitchell of SimSport Racing International A. So the main SimSport Racing team. We've seen a few of these guys shouting out in chat. So let's do those guys a favour and sit on board with their boy. Get a bit of that noise in there as well. While this is happening, Brunswick in the last Aston has gone up into 4th position, right up there with the leaders as well, 600 to 9 thousandths away from pole position. While we were looking at that lap, Thomas Morant has started their flyer for Pulse B team. pushing pretty hard there through the Comet, looks like, although maybe a bit too much. Looks like he lost a little bit of time on the entrance there, possibly. And then we have Regan Mitchell coming across the line. To P5, just 1/10 behind. So fitting into a little bit of a gap there, just behind the really fast lot. Ahead of everyone else. All SimSport guys all looking to improve on that. And then we have Marvin Helget for FRS Team Lemon. I can see where their livery took its inspiration from, and do you know what? I approve greatly. The BMW Lemon, the Bentley Lemon, rolling around the other big chungus. More at the first of the 2 Pulse SimSport cars. I know there's some of the Pulse guys in the chat. Nice run through the last corner. How's he doing? It's looking all right, but there we go, 6th position. A couple of attempts down. Fits into that gap just with Mitchell car as well. That was the wrong car. This is the car that's going to start his lap, getting a nice wide line for that corner to start off with a good run down the straight. Not a huge amount you can gain from it with such a short straight at the start. But Nicholas Taylor for CRN Spa 24. The snowy white livery there, possibly reflecting the weather conditions that they believe we might be having for the 24 hours. In the background, you can see what looks like to be the 2nd Pulse SimSport car coming out. Whoops, had that onboard up there for a little bit too long, my bad. Marvin Helget and the Team Lemon car. Well, Hemmon squad coming out here in the chat at the end of this. And, unfortunately, not a great lap time, but not last, which is obviously the most important thing in sim racing. Adam Chmielewski, the GPX Racing liveried Rebellion Porsche. Or Nicholas Taylor is coming around for the end of his lap. To a sound that I'm sure we're all well too familiar with from sim racing, especially at this track. And that last apex, get the best run possible. He does take pole. That's a whole 10.5 up. That is a fantastic lap there from Nicholas Taylor. Very well done. And just behind him, Pulse SimSport A with Rasmus Christensen is going to start his lap. Yep, the lone Porsche. One of the 4 singular car manufacturer drivers I believe we have on here, and the last of them. So mostly Astons left after this, and that one Bentley. Here we get the end of Adam's lap. Nice run, it seems. This is going to be pretty far up there, I believe. Oh, and it is! That was an understatement by me there. Checking the timing, and he's gone up to 2:29. The first, I believe, to break into that high of a time. Yeah, the first to break under the 2:30 barrier, so huge shout out there. So we got back to see Rasmus Christensen. Starting the last sector, 781. The last of the non-Astons here, driven by Menno Corazon from Front Left Tyre Scrubber Esports. I've got to say I'm very upset with you for the way you've spelt esports. This is not the 90s. We can spell words properly nowadays, but Front Left Tyre Scrubbers going for a run. I have to shout them out after dissing them for their spelling. I have to shout them out for driving a car which isn't the Aston. Speaking of which, we see another Aston crossing the line. This is looking strong as well. We're obviously into our fastest drivers here. Not quite enough to take the pole, but a strong second position for the Pulse boys. Bentley now giving it a good go. Hopefully going to give us a second non-Aston car right at the top there. While another Aston starts. Valentin Barrier from Polska Gorom. I saw their name shouted out in chat earlier as well. So welcome to you boys having a watch. See how the Bentley does there. Getting that little bit of slide as he rolls through Stavelot and the exit of Stavelot. On to our last 3 cars now. Impressive to see that a Bentley got this high up in pre-qualifying as well. Got to obviously just give them a shout out for that. They are one of the top 3 of the pre-qualifiers. Around the last corner. Not a great lap, unfortunately. So clearly he can drag the time out of that car, but maybe takes a little bit more effort to do so than in one of the Astons, because he hasn't managed to put it there in 1 lap. Actually sitting right near one of the other Bentleys. One of the Bentleys who was the first car we saw out on the track today is just ahead of him there in 16th place. So Valentin Barrier is out there doing his thing, and Darren King of the Dal King community team. Obviously, a lot of hype is being put on now whether the Porsche can stay in the lead, whether one of these 2 Astons will steal it from him, and whether anyone else will break the 2:30 barrier, whether they take pole or not. Valentin Barrier is coming across the line first. Not a great lap from him, unfortunately. Puts him right at the back. He clearly must have made some mistake as he was going around. an hour sitting on board with Darren King himself. Big wide there, taking all of the exit curve that he can into the final chicane. How was Dow King going to have done? It looks like it's on for a good time from my limited timing screen, and it is. Not quite enough to crack that 2:30 though. So really nice lap time there, and front four within that first second. Those rainy weather conditions really putting people off a little bit. But here are our results. The first couple of drivers, all within those 6/10. The lack of ballast there on the Porsche really helping to put them right up to the top. Although the heavy ballast on the Aston not stopping the next 4 cars. So as everyone leaves the server, and obviously shout out the general ACCSS things. Thank you all for watching. It's been great fun to see this SUPERPOLE. And obviously, if you want to check out the other one, I assume YouTube saves the VODs like Twitch does automatically. So I assume there will be a VOD soon on our YouTube channel covering the other SUPERPOLE server if you want to go see Roy's broadcast of that. We will be back here on the YouTube because it is better for these, specifically for these incredibly long broadcasts. And we will see you there tomorrow. So remember to look here and check in the announcements in our Discord channel for the official stream of the ACCSS 24 hours of Spa. Unfortunately, I've just realised I was planning to wait for the results to come up, but there's still an hour of qualifying left according to the server, so we can't actually see the results right now. But you were here, you were there, you saw them. And so, yes, thank you. This has been ACCSS from Spa-Francorchamps. We're going to leave you with a few adverts for our friends and partners who have helped to support us. And, yeah, see you tomorrow. I don't think there are any exclamation marks in our YouTube chain set up, so just, you know, remember to be on the Discord and sign up for cool races and stuff. Have fun, guys.
Smell of rain into my bed and lie so close to me. You could be inside my head. Maybe it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing to feel